Bucky's going to the moon in 2020. No. Sorry. Bucky's going to Mars. No, wait. Bucky's going to
Jupiter.
To Jupiter in 2025, and you're either on board or you're not. You're either doubting this train because you weren't on it when we were conducting it last year. You don't know what time it is if you don't see this man coming. This is our Kyron Williams, our A-Chan, our scream from the rooftops as all your league mates turn into pumpkins because they didn't see this man coming. Bucky's going to the moon.
Get buckied. 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 Oh, Bucky.
File on in. The fantasy football show, Bucky Irving style, Bucky to the moon. Top 5 running back show begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
This is our Kyron. This is our A-Chan. This is the player that everyone's going to come in doubting. He's not going to get all the carries. Kyron's going to lose his job. Sound familiar? Smitty, we just don't know if A-Chan can stay healthy. This guy was 4th in yards per carry last year. 4th. And let me make sure you understand something as we run through a gauntlet of stats and data. This man, running back snap percentage, was 44th in the National Football League for RBs. This guy wasn't even in the top 32 in running back snap percentage. And that's not a knock. It's just that when he gets a comparable snap percentage to running backs like Henry and Kyron and other RBs, guess what's happening? All these numbers that we're about to go through, most all of them are top 10, are going to turn into top 5, top 4, top 3. This man was 4th in yards per carry. 4th, dropping 1,122 yards, 5.4. There's that yards per carry, 5.4 yards per carry, 8 touchdowns, pulled in 47 receptions for 392. No receiving touchdowns, but that's going to change. This is a 10 touchdown running back with ease. This is a 10 touchdown running back on the ground, 3 or 4 receiving. This is a 13 to 14 to 15 touchdown running back in 2025. This is a running back that's getting well over 1,500, 1,600 yards in 2025. This is a running back that was 10th in yards, getting only 44%, getting 44th percentage-wise in snaps. Ranked 44th out of all RBs and still managed to be 10th in yards, 4th in yards per carry, and 12th out of all fantasy running backs in fantasy football scoring. 44% snap share. Insane. Then you get into things like this. Let's go right for the meat and potatoes. This was in December. Let's see here. This was in December 4th, 2024 when this posted, and he was still top 3 in the league. I'll find the forced missed tackle data and put it on screen here in a minute. Highest missed tackle rate by any running back with a minimum of 50 rushes since 2016. Does that even compute? Like what this guy's doing, what this kid is doing, how good he looks? Highest missed tackle rate, 59.7% out of any running back since 2016. Remarkable what Bucky has been doing and will continue to do. And we're telegraphing this thing. This is the epitome of all running backs. This is that you want on your team. This is the kind of guy that takes you from rags to riches, the kind of player that you draft in the top of round 3 and you get top 5 overall production potentially out of. No one's saying it's a guarantee of any kind. No one's saying you bank on it. You curb your expectation and enthusiasm a little bit. You make sure you walk into the season with a good expectation, but an amazing result potentially sitting there. The high risk is not here. The high reward, the low risk is present in this situation. This man was 8th in 20-plus yard runs. 8th in 20-plus yard runs, ranking 44th in the league in snap percentage. This guy was 3rd in 30-plus yard runs. This guy was 7th in 40-plus yard runs. This guy was 6th in 50-plus yard runs. This man was 10th in red zone targets as a running back in 2025, all while getting being 44th in the league in snap percentage at the RB position. The sky's the limit for this man. And let me tell you something too. Dynasty owners out there, you better listen up and you better listen good. He will never be cheaper than he is right now. And let me show you a trade that I just executed in a Dynasty league that I play, that was created by the followers. It's a follower Dynasty league. We are going to have a one more Dynasty league that is going to consist of the winners from the leagues from this past season that we were handing out. First place, you got a spot in the Dynasty league that we're going to draft here live on the channel. So get ready for that. But 1 year ago today, roughly, I had Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry on my follower league, Dynasty league team. And if you remember, some of you will remember this, I traded Christian McCaffrey in his prime walking into last season. I didn't want to touch McCaffrey. McCaffrey was my biggest devoid of all of 2024. I told everyone he was going to get hurt. He got hurt. What did I do? How did I get rid of McCaffrey? I sold a year early. I got Devon Achane, who was also doubted. I got DK Metcalf, who was also doubted. And I executed this trade using Christian McCaffrey in a league that I'd won 2 championships back-to-back in the follower league and was walking into a likely 2025 championship. I did make it to the finals. I crushed all year, and then my guys didn't show up in the final game. So I've won 2 out of the last 3 years championships in this league on the backs of Christian McCaffrey and Derrick Henry. How do you trade a guy like that in Dynasty? Go after doubted players. Even DK's doubted right now. He's still doubted, and I love this trade. This trade's great. Achane for McCaffrey straight up. But remember, McCaffrey was balling out at the time. McCaffrey was the #1 player in fantasy. So this wasn't a crazy trade. And I came in and posted this, and the chat didn't even say, oh, you crushed him on that. It was kind of like, oh, I don't know. But I crushed him. This is the foresight you got to have when you're making a trade like Christian McCaffrey. Then I took Derrick Henry tonight in the same league. So McCaffrey and Henry have taken me to the promised land 2 out of the last 3 years. And I traded receiving Bucky Irving, trading Derrick Henry in this Dynasty league, the 1.12, which is essentially a second rounder, and my 26 first rounder, which I'm dominating this league. I'm winning year in and year out. I'm not going to have anything but a last or second to last or third to last pick. Anyway, these are essentially almost second round picks and Derrick Henry for Bucky.
Get buckied.
Let him cook.
Smashing. What's my team look like now? As of this moment, let me put my roster up on screen. It is as follows. Here is your boys' team at this current moment in time after my 2 trades, one last year, one this year, and the roster is looking primed and ready to dominate for the next, 4 more years, 5 more years, more championships to come. Here's the squad now. This was a Christian McCaffrey and Derrick Henry team. How do you trade out of that? Just showed you. Jalen Hurts, Bucky Irving, Devon Achane, Puka Nacua, DK Metcalf, George Kittle. I can still trade George Kittle. Setting yourself up for a dynasty conglomerate. That's how you do it. With a guy that, again, his broken tackle rate, his forced missed tackles, his big play ability, his ability to be the biggest playmaker in the National Football League. He could be the #1 big play player especially if you play in fantasy leagues that are awarded for big points. This guy is in the top 10 in every single category, except for fantasy points. He was 12th. And if you watch him run for even 2 minutes, 1 minute, you watch him run for even 1 or 2 minutes, just pull up footage. He breaks tackles like Christian McCaffrey meets Alvin Kamara, meets Jahmyr Gibbs, meets something else we haven't seen since Marshawn Lynch. This guy slips out of tackles like nobody I've ever seen. His ability to be a big playmaker on such a low snap percentage is an indication, a telegraph, a harbinger of things to come. Do not sleep on this man walking into 2025, or you will be sorry. This is your chance to make up for not believing in Achane when I screamed it from the rooftops. This is your chance for not believing in Kyron when we said don't listen to the other noise out there. This is the only channel you need. This is the next big thing. This can be the most exciting, big play, explosive running back in the National Football League. He is that good. He is that good. It's going to be a wild ride, I'll tell you that. And those that doubt him will be sorry. And they will be very, very ashamed of themselves. Their moms will be ashamed of him. Okay. And his redraft value, top around 3, beautiful. Baked in, 100% baked in risk. Don't listen to, no offense, Dragonheart. Don't listen to Dragonheart. Bucky is too high for his price. Don't listen to that one. That's a doubt. That's a doubter right there. Dragonheart ain't no Dragonheart. That's soft, Dragon. Come on. All right, dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
That had no dragon. That had no bite. Let me open the phone lines. The phone lines aren't even opened. But then you can dial in. Let's talk about this man, Bucky Irving, who is just unbelievable. There is no more excited. I'm not more excited about anybody this year than I am Bucky. I'm just not. Is he Jupiter?
The Jupiter men. Jupiter is so large. Every planet in the
I'm going to do it.
The Saturn men.
One small step for man, one giant leap for Saturn.
I'm going to move him. He's got to be moved. 3.1. Bucky. Let's see if I can. I'm going to move him. Hold on. Let me move him. 3.1 ADP. Bucky. Jupiter man. Welcome to Jupiter.
The Jupiter men. Jupiter is so large. Every planet in the solar system could fit inside it. There are no bigger monsters than the Jupiter men.
Welcome to Jupiter, Bucky. I'm doing it. I'm moving it. He's a Jupiter man. Rock out. You're on the line. What can I do for you?
Can you put Bucky on Jupiter?
Can I put him on Jupiter?
Yeah.
I don't understand the question.
I'll put Bucky Irving on Jupiter.
Are you Rock out? Are you watching? Do I have to hang up on Rock out for the first time?
No, that's fine.
Oh, okay. Rock out. What can I do for you?
As far as Bucky Irving, I believe he's probably like top 5, top 4.
Yeah, he definitely. You don't want to take him there. You don't have to. Top 5 would be, first round. So everybody, make sure you don't go out there and smash the Bucky Irving ADP data to oblivion. If I find out that any of you are out there drafting him at top 5 ADP value, I'm going to be pretty upset with you. I'm going to be very disappointed in you because you don't need to do that. He's going at the very earliest 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, 3.4. I think, we're in best ball mode if anybody wants to participate in draft Bucky before he climbs, because I think he will. You want to do it on Underdog, promo code Smitty. because they're wide receiver heavy in these best balls. So if you go Jamar Chase or Neighbors or CeeDee Lamb in round 1, you can tend to get Bucky and Kyren, Bucky and Breece Hall, Bucky and Josh Allen, Bucky and Bowers sometimes at the 2 and 3 turn area, and pair that with your wide receiver up front. But people are so wide receiver heavy, Bucky lives in the 3.1 to 3.5, 3.6 territory in best ball. But you might find in August, when the hype train builds, we move ADPs at least 1, 2, 3 overall spots. Anybody thinks that's not true? Even the best ball ADP, I believe we move that at least, and that's hard to do because there's thousands and thousands of drafts, per contest. But we move him at least 1 spot in the best ball, maybe half a spot to a spot. We at least move a player like that when we pump someone up like this. There's no doubt in my mind. In mock draft data, we're widely known. You can make fun of that all you want if you're new and you think, oh, this guy's got ego, thinks he's moving ADP like mountains. We do. A lot of other shows make fun of this show saying that we ruin ADP, that we move ADP up on guys and they're like, damn it, man, especially in mock draft data. Because we used to mock draft like no other. We haven't mock drafted in a while. We got to start doing some mock drafts. I admit we got it. But the only problem is the pre-ranked data is so garbage right now. You go in there and it's got Christian McCaffrey and Tyreek Hill in the top 5 on every database you go in. It's like, what in the hell are you doing? How are we supposed to do a good mock draft without good data? How do you not have somebody just go in and update it? Just go in and update it. It takes one person 5 minutes to go in and go, let me drag these around to where I think they're good. At least I give everybody a little nice ranking to work off. What are people doing back there? Rock out. Where do you see Bucky in terms of touchdowns, Rock out? What do you got?
12.
12 TDs. Travis, how many touchdowns does Bucky get? You're live.
Total, including receiving?
Yeah.
I think he's around 15.
Yeah, I think he has a big year. I think he has 10 plus on the ground, 2, 3 receiving. To me, it's like a 13 to 16 range. And the fact that, again, he was 44th in the NFL in snap percentage. And I know a hater's going to come in and go, well, Rachaad White's there, that's why. And yeah, it's true. But if you watch how things progress for Bucky, and if you feel the way I do, and maybe you don't, and that's okay, then you know that his role is going to be increasing.
Well, that was my question, actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
He ended up with like 207 carries or something like that, and 50-something receptions. Do you see him probably like 220, 230 carries maybe?
Yeah, so let me show you the game logs just so we're all on the same page in terms of like his uptick in work, which is why I think like when you calculate Bucky's stats, it's funny because people will use the entire season and they're not looking at the data and the trends and how it looks like it's increasing for him. So here's his game log from 2024. And as you can see, 9 carries in week number 1 at the bottom, 7 carries, 9 carries, 10 carries, 9 carries, 14, 9, 9, 7. He wasn't a double-digit carry guy until that San Francisco game. So you're literally looking at a man that ranked top 10 in almost every single rushing category you can find, and was top 3 in, I believe he was top, I'll have to find the exact data. I think he was top 3 in forced missed tackles, and I believe he was, I want to say he was top 3 in yards after contact too. Let me find, I have it somewhere. I have that data somewhere. I'll look for it and pull it up here. But you're talking about a guy that's ranking in the top 3 and 5 in some of those majorly amazing categories that are very telling as a running back, as how a running back's going to progress and get better and better. And you look at this game log and you say, okay, as soon as he started getting 13 carries here, the San Francisco game, right in the middle of this screen, he got 13 carries, 5.6 a pop, a touchdown. 12 carries, 7.3 a pop, a touchdown. 25 carries, 6.1 a pop, a touchdown. Back-to-back-to-back touchdown games with over 5.6 yards per carry. Then I believe he got hurt in this game. I think in this this Raider game. Right here. I think he got hurt in this Raider game. He had 4 carries. I don't know what, I forget what happened in that game. Then in this game against the Chargers, back to double digit, 7.8 yards per carry. Dallas, 68 and a touch. He had 4.3. Carolina, 113 yards, 5.7 a carry. And then he had this 4.7 a carry, 89 one touchdown game against the Saints in the final week of the season. But then you also look at the fact that during the playoffs, which I think is important to highlight, that, hey, how does this still look in the most important game of the year? He had 17 carries. The team leaned on him hardcore. And then he got his first receiving touchdown. 2 targets, 6 yards, 2 targets, 2 receptions, 1 TD. Like, that's the best place he could have got the receiving touchdown, because this is the most important game of the year in the playoffs. So I love the way he projects this touchdown over here. 17 carries. Long of 19, showing elusiveness in this game. A tough game script. The sky's the limit, you know. And I think when you start referencing the totality of his 2024 season, you're getting lost in data that doesn't belong in the evaluation process, because all of this early work is not a fair depiction of where he's headed in 2025. Like, if we extrapolate data, Travis, I don't know if you want to do that while we're talking. I don't know if you can screenshot this and all right, actually, you know, I'll just add it up on the stream. You know what? Let's use Kruger. What are we doing? Kruger can do this. This is Kruger work. Kruger, add all these numbers up and then divide them by the number that I tell you at the end. 73, 88, 152, 3, 117, 68, 113, 89, and 77. And then divide it by, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Divide it by 11.
Let's add up. 73, 88, 152, 3, 117, 68, 113, 89, and 76. It's a total of 780. Now let's divide by 11. That gives us approximately 70.91. 70, so 70 times 17 is 11. Is that correct? 1190? That doesn't sound right. Is he right? I don't know if he's adding that right. Let me add it.
1205.
What?
1205.
3 plus 68 plus 1 7 plus 3 plus 152 plus 8.
Let's see what.
It was 780 divided by 11.
Exactly. 880 divided by 11 gives us 80. So the correct result is 80.
So that's right, Travis?
It was 780 divided by 11.
Okay.
Times 17. It was out to 1205.
1205, okay. So 1205 is what he would have paced out as rushing yardage-wise. And touchdowns, I'm going to do this without him. Touchdowns, we're going to say, so he had, let's see here. He had the 1 playoff touchdown. Let me clear this out. 1 playoff touchdown. 1 rushing, 1. So divided, we said 11 games, divided by 11 times 17. So like 10. So he's on pace for 10 touchdowns and 1,200 yards rushing. And that doesn't account for his receiving or anything. So he was on a tear, you know. I feel like the numbers, it's really that 3-yard game too. If he took that 3-yard game out, I don't want to though. I don't want to like cherry pick the stats.
I mean, he played the full season, so
yeah.
No.
But
he only had 200 carries, so if
yeah.
you extrapolate that, we'd give him another 40 carries or more.
It's crazy though when you think about, like, if you just take out that 3-yard game, he was on a tear. There's no way he doesn't have 1,200 rushing yards on a 17 games, or even if he missed like a game or two, he's having 1,200 yards and 10 to 12 rushing touchdowns. The thing I'm so excited about though is his receiving work. This 0 touchdowns, but 392 and 47 receptions. I think this could be like 55, 60 receptions, 450 and 2 or 3 touchdowns. So 1,200 yards. This is what I'll say his projection will be: 1,200 yards rushing, and that's light. That's light work. I mean, I think you can blow it out of the water. Plus 450, so that's 1,650, and probably 15 touchdowns on 65 receptions. That's an amazing year. That's maybe running back 3 or 4.
Yeah.
If I had to guess. Real quickly, let me see who's on the phone here. We got Kyrie Boston. What's up, Kyrie Boston? What do you got?
I was checking out the video. I think I'm about to trade for Bucky Irving in Dynasty.
Do it.
I got a Dynasty league.
What do you got?
Yeah.
What's the trade? What's the trade?
I don't want to give up too much. I don't know if Tyreek Hill's. I should get rid of Tyreek Hill while he's up.
Yes.
Right about now.
Yes, but you're not going to get Bucky for Hill if you can do it now.
You don't think so?
No. Tyreek Hill. People are in Dynasty. They're afraid he's done. They're afraid he's done. There's no way you're getting Bucky straight up for him. Try it if you can do that, bro.
How about if I throw in Tank Bigsby? He's kind of young.
I like Bigsby, but no one else likes him. It's funny because you stole my thunder on this. Because at the end of the show, I was gonna tell you who I think could be the 2025 version of Bucky that rises up, and it would be Bigsby.
I was trying to get rid of some of these old dudes.
But
I got Devontae Adams.
Yeah, but you can't get rid of Adams and get Bucky. You can't get rid of Hill and get Bucky. You're gonna have to give up something. You're gonna have to give up a first rounder, bro. You're gonna have to give up Hill and a first rounder to get Bucky.
Have to give a little draft capital, huh?
I mean,
man.
Would anybody in here give up Bucky if someone offered him Tyreek or Devontae Adams in a dynasty? I don't think so.
No.
I would give up.
The way you have to look at it, if he's new to Dynasty, you have to take into consideration how much time they have left. In terms of elite production, how many more seasons?
Yeah, you also got to understand that, like, if you're getting rid of this first rounder, people just think first rounders are amazing. If your team is good, like in the case where I got rid of this was the trade I made, as I mentioned a second ago. I traded away Bucky, a 1.12 this year, which is a first rounder. And if it was the 2.1, I bet you he wouldn't have done this trade. Like the fact that it's the 1.2, it's a first rounder, even though it's technically a 2.1 practically in my mind. I give up Derrick Henry, 1.12, future first rounder. But I've won this league 2 out of the last 3 years. Should have won it last year. And that's me giving up 2 1.12s. In my mind, I'm giving up 2 1.12s and a guy that, in my opinion, after this year won't be worth anything. Derrick Henry will be worth what CMC's worth right now, next offseason.
Trade that for Bucky?
Yeah.
In Dynasty? Oh,
hell yeah,
man. Damn. I was about to ask Derrick Henry, but then he traded all that for what?
I traded all of that for Bucky.
Because I got Derrick Henry too. Huh?
I traded all of that for Bucky, bro. But you're gonna have to throw first rounders in. And if your team's good enough, the first rounder's trash.
You're right.
You're giving up one. You gotta. If your team sucks, though, you can't be giving up 1.1 and Hill or whatever.
No, I won the champion with this team.
Okay. So if you get Bucky, you're probably, if you're already the top team, let's say they're 1.1 right now, you get Bucky, all of a sudden you turn this pick into the 1.12, right? That's the way you got to look at it. But yeah, go get Bucky, but you can't use Tyreek Hill or Adams alone. You gotta give up way more than that. Bucky is gonna cost, but it's worth it. It's worth every penny. Hold on, Jay's dropping a $10 hauler that gets you a Mars shot, young man. And the question is, starting my 2 keeper league with Bucky round 10 and JD5 round 8 because of you. Thank you, pal. That means a lot. Appreciate you, let me know in a $10 super chat too. So, bars one more time for good measure. And congratulations on that amazing value. Bucky and JD5, you're on your way. Let me go over to Travis one more time. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, when you threw those predictions out, the 16, 50, and 15 touchdowns, how many catches did you say?
Yeah, let me put a Bucky's. So this is Bucky projection 2025. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to say 1,300 yards. 1,300 rushing yards.
Yep.
12 rushing touchdowns. 5.0 a carry. 65 receptions for 450 and 2 to 3 TDs.
So what's that total for yards and touchdowns?
So it depends if it's half PPR or PPR, but that would be my Bucky projections. That probably puts him as running back 2 or 3 is my guess. But if you're calculating that, let me know what you find out. I'd say 2 or 3 if I did spitball it.
I'll figure it out.
And keep in mind that's a very big Derrick Henry year, very big, very big Barkley year, very big Gibbs year. JT, I bet you JT's running back 1 numbers the year JT was running back 1 probably ranked like 5 or 6 or 7 in this year's stats. So every year is a little different, but I'd say last year it probably comes in at 2 or 3, maybe 4.
So full PPR, that puts him RB5, but only 3 points off RB4.
Yeah, it was a big year. But I think that we won't have Henry or Barkley or maybe both of them repeat. So I think that Bucky's one of those 5 in there, and one of Henry or Barkley or maybe both won't be in the top 5 this year. It's just
like 2023, that would be RB2.
Yeah.
In full PPR. Easy one.
You think no.
Yeah, Kyrie Boston, what's up?
You think Genty can outplay Bucky this year?
Could. He's that good. If I had to say my 2 favorite RBs this year, and I always have a soft spot for Gibbs and Bijan and Kyren, so I'd say like you throw those guys in too, and then the next 2 are Bucky and Genty. Like that's what I want my top 5 to be. But Genty, I'm so excited about Genty. Yeah, could he be the number 1 running back? He sure could. Depends where he goes, but Genty could be that good. Absolutely. Would I trade Bucky for the 1.1 in Dynasty? Yeah. That's just being real. That's on a Bucky show. Earmuffs, Bucky. But could Bucky be as good as anybody? Yes, because everything I'm talking about with these stats, bro, he's ranking at the very top. At his snap percentage, he has no business being 8th and 20 plus yard runs with 44% snap share. He has no business being 3rd and 30 plus yard runs. Like, how in the hell is he in the top 10 in red zone targets with the 44%, ranking 44th in snap share? It doesn't make any sense. How is he, for a big part of the year, the number 1 forced missed tackle guy? How is he? I believe I got to find the numbers. I went live before I grabbed it, and it's hard to do something like that and talk at the same time. So Travis, I don't know if you could dig around for the forced missed tackles 2024 stats, and if you can also look around for what was the other one that I wanted? Forced missed tackles and yards after contact per attempt. Yards after contact per attempt, and then also forced missed tackles. Yeah, try to look up those 2. I believe Bucky was 3rd in both, if I remember correctly. So how are you in the top 5? How are you in the top 5 in the NFL in those 2 categories, which are probably the 2 best categories in stats in fantasy football? Forced missed tackles and yards after contact per attempt. How are you in the top 3? And you know who's also in the top 5-ish in both of those? Jordan Mason, Jahmyr Gibbs. You know who's also in the top 5 in yards after contact per attempt, I believe, Tank Bigsby. So that's why Bigsby is one of my favorite deep running back grabs this year and has a hint of Bucky 2025.
You mind if I ask about J.K. Dobbins?
The guy that doesn't have a job?
What you think? You think he's cooked?
Well, I don't think he's cooked, but he's got to find a home, bro. I mean, we can't rank him anywhere until he finds a job. And he's an Achilles tear recovery player. No Achilles tear running back has ever become a top 10 running back or returned to the top 10 in fantasy football running back scoring after an Achilles tendon tear. Never once has a running back been a top 10 running back after a tear. Ever.
Did he re-injure himself?
No, I'm just saying he's an Achilles tear running back. He's tore his ACL. He's tore his Achilles tendon. No running back has ever been a top 10 running back. I don't care if it's years later. Has ever been a top 10 running back after an Achilles tear.
Oh, no, I was just curious.
No, he didn't re-injure it, but
re-injured himself.
No, but you got a short window of time, and it takes you years to get back to form. You just don't have the explosion. You can't. Not as an RB. You can. Kevin Durant tore his Achilles. Aaron Rodgers. A long list of players have torn their Achilles and been successful, and in a lot of cases in different sports, especially players can return to the Kobe. But we're talking about running back. Running back's different because, as I explained, elevator doors are closing on you in the NFL. Those gaps, the A and B gap, those gaps close like elevator doors. And when you don't have the explosion, you can't get through that hole. The elevator doors close on you, and that's it. You lose your job is really what it's about. Deonta Foreman's probably the most successful Achilles tear running back we've ever seen. JK's put together a pretty, solid attempt so far. But yeah, no running back has ever been a top 10 running back after an Achilles tear. Ever. How do I get in one of your leagues against Smitty? Just listen, we'll be giving out a couple spots. Also, I got kind of exciting and, disappointing, but also exciting news. We got an opening. Someone bailed on the Moonman Marsman League. So we're going to one day have the highest super chatter of a live stream get the available Marsman. It's a Marsman spot. You get the available Marsman spot, which gives you, when you're a Marsman, you get exclusive phone access where anybody on the Marsman, if they call in and I'm closing the show out or I've got the phone line too full and they call, they get in. They get in immediately. And I usually, during the season especially, off season's so slow, no one really cares. I just kind of go around the phone line. But during the season when it's busy, if you've got a Marsman card, and there's only 11 of them, because I'm a Marsman as well, because I'm in the Marsman League. But you get a Marsman card, you get to jump the line when you call in. So we'll be. I imagine we're gonna have New Age Outlaw and BBQ fighting hard for that, if I had to guess. But we'll see. How do I get in? So wait on that. Thank you for the $10 holler, my boy. You're the man, the myth, the legend. If I have any openings in my current Dynasty leagues that are like $20 buy-ins, we opened up a few. When I first started the channel, we did like 3. We had actually like 5 or 6 Dynasty leagues that have crumbled, and we have like 3 left. I always announce it in here. Who wants, spot? It's open. You have to take over a team, but I'll let you know.
How many carries did you want in that, like yards after contact per attempt? 150 or 130 or?
How many carries did Bucky have?
He had 207.
Yeah, I'd say like 100. Maybe 100. Or actually, make it 100. If you can sort it, 125, 130 attempts, I'd say. Because some players can get 100 carries and they're not necessarily in the mix for.
All right, so anyone over 125 attempts, I believe. Let's see, Jordan Mason had 2.9.
Crazy.
Derrick Henry had 2.8. Tyrone Tracy had. Make sure this is right. Yeah, 2.7, and Bucky had 2.7. So, and if you up the carries to like say 180, I think the only guy ahead of him might be. On a second.
Where's Tank? Send me that data after. Send me that data after if you could. I'm looking at something that says Bucky's.
So
you what?
No. I read the wrong one. So Derrick Henry at 2.8. Where's Bucky? Bucky at 2.6. What I'm seeing. Dobbins 2.5. Bigsby 2.7. Seeing any of that?
I'm seeing different data on the one I'm looking at, so I make sure we'll have to tackle it later. But I'm pretty sure Bucky was top 3. Bigsby was, I think Bigsby was top 3. I think Bigsby was top 3 in yards after contact per attempt. But you might be. Are you looking at yards after contact or yards after contact per attempt? Because they're going to be different.
This says yards after contact per attempt.
Okay. Yeah. Mason, Bigsby, and Irving should all be top 5 on yards after contact per attempt.
Yeah, they are. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, and that's why Bigsby is so exciting. I'm real excited about Bigsby. Bigsby's gonna probably be a moon man, just so you guys know, or maybe a midseason monster, because he could potentially take a little time. That could be, I don't know, but I want him to be a moon man, pretty badly. Rock out. What else you got?
Yeah, how you feel about Mike Evans, and where would you want to take him?
Mike Evans, probably like
4th round.
Yeah, I don't know that I could take him in the 3rd. Just at his age, likelihood of drop off, I don't know. I think I could take him as my 4th drafted player pretty easily.
And
so
how about, Godwin.
Godwin?
Like 6th round.
Where is his ADP roughly?
I think middle, like the 5th, 6th.
Middle of the 5th, 6th. I would say he's a great 6th rounder. All right, let me real quickly. Let me rushing yards. Let me put some more. So fantasy points, he was 12. Travis, do you have the other stat? I know he's top 5, but we've gotten some discrepancy on what I'm finding, what he's finding, and without actually manually calculating it myself.
We're on the same page with the yards after contact per attempt. We're on the same page with that.
I'll just say top 5 for right now.
Stat?
Yards after contact per attempt. I think he's top 5. I want to say we're gonna have some discrepancy until I actually can manually look at it myself, because we're looking at different data that's conflicting a little bit, but I think he's top 5 for sure. And then the other data was the other information I wanted you to look for was forced missed tackles for RBs. Forced missed tackle rate for RBs. Let me put this over here. I'll move all this down. I mean, I'm going to make this a board we reference a lot because this has a lot of good information on it. But he's just, these are some of the best, categories, period, that you look for in terms of RB, predictive RB success. I mean, he's dominating the whole thing. So yards, what did I say? Forced missed tackles. Yeah. And send me a link or wherever you're getting it, and then we'll look at it together. Forced. You can do it later. All right, Travis, you there again? Forced, missed tackle.
Hello? Yeah, I can hear you. Yep.
Forced missed tackles, top 5. I know he's top 5. I'm almost positive he's top 5 in both of these. Okay. Kyrie Boston, did you figure out a trade you're going to send out, bro? Is Kyrie Boston still there? 860 caller, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, Smitty, it's Alec. I'm calling from Baltimore.
What's up, Alec? What can I do for you?
I was just calling to see what are some of your favorite mid-round sleeper wide receivers, like that 6, 7, 8 range?
All right, hang 1 second. 6 round, or 8. What do you say? 8 round. Let me answer these 2 calls real quickly. Hold on. Get Rock out in there. Okay, I think I got everybody back on the phone line. Sorry, what was your name, caller? What'd you ask again? 6 round sleeper?
It's Alec. Yeah, Alec from
Alec.
Baltimore.
Okay, Alec from Baltimore.
And I was just asking, your favorite sleeper mid-round wide receivers.
Mid-round. Okay, let me go through. Let me go through ADP rankings. So I'm going to pull up Underdog ADP rankings, and I'm going to tell you kind of a handful of players. I'm going to start off by just saying Bucky is really late, and since we're on the topic of, I'm sorry, Bucky. Bigsby's really late. While we're on the topic of Bigsby, he would be one of them. But if I scroll down to, like, let's say 100 and let's go to 123 where Bigsby is, and I'm going to go back up. I love Evan Ingram, who's around 120, 129, by the way. I love that value. I love Isaiah Likely in the 130s. But if I start going up from Bigsby, which is 123 ADP, love it. I'd have to say Cam Scatteraboo at 117 to 120 could win leagues. I'd have to say that Travis Hunter at the 100 to 110 mark could absolutely crush and win leagues. Zach Charbonnet at 105, league winner. Tyler Warren at 101, I love that. Travis Etienne at 102. You're grabbing Travis Etienne and Bigsby both at cuff territory. You don't have to pay a starter value for either one, so it's smart to cuff them together. As you get into like the Ramondre Stevenson 93 to 100 is crazy good. Cooper Kupp in the 85 to 90 range, and I imagine this is best ball, so he'll probably go later in non-best ball because quarter or wide receivers climb up so high. Najee in the 80s still. It seems like a good deal. I don't know why he's still down there. Patrick Mahomes.
Not a lot of wide receivers, though.
You what?
Not a ton of wide receivers in those middle rounds.
Yeah. Patrick Mahomes at 75 to 80 is insane. And then, I don't know, Laporta in the 65 range is great. Debo in the 64 to 70 range. Trevion Henderson in the 60 to 70 range. That's about where I think you start getting closer to where we're not in that category anymore. But that would be my take. My initial, at a glance take, bro.
Yeah, because recently when I've been drafting, I've been finding I love those early round RBs, but then as soon as those later round comes, I can never find receivers that I really like when I draft. I don't know. It feels like it thins out so fast after round 3.
Yeah, probably my favorite later wide receivers to grab would be DK, Debo. I did a best ball draft last night, bro, where I took, damn it, who was it? Let me find it. This is crazy, bro. This is so insane. Let me put it up on screen because this is too good to. Yeah, here it is. Jeez. So this is how I started the draft. This is crazy. This team is insane. Started off with Bijan. This is on Underdog, promo code Smitty. If anybody wants to take advantage of this before it's too late, this is why drafting early is good, especially in best ball. People that say drafting early is bad because people get hurt, they don't have the balls for it. That's fine. But look at this team. I took Bijan in the first round. I took Bucky in the second round. I took Kyron Williams in the third round. And there was a guy that would call in, I forget who it was, but he'd argue with me that he could build a great running back team, which I have no doubt you can. But the receivers he was drafting were not good enough. I'm like, you can't win with the wide receiver one like that. You can win, however, with the wide receiver stable like this. DK Metcalf, Debo Samuel, Travis Hunter. This is how I started the team. I even went Najee and Bigsby. So this team to me looks in Mahomes. So I got Mahomes in the 70s. I got Bijan, Bucky, and Kyron back to back to back. DK, Debo, Travis Hunter is a sleepy, stud in the making potentially. But this is a great way to go, solid wide receiver shopping later. Anything else, my boy?
No, that was all. Thank you so much, man.
All right, bro. Call in anytime. I gotta plug you in. You're what was his name again? He's gone. I can't even. I was gonna put it. Call in again sometime, bro.
Hey.
Yeah, damn it. I don't know why I can't remember anyone's name these days. Probably because I'm messed up. My phone line's different. I'm trying to get used to everything. I don't have anybody's names. As many names. Alec. It was Alec, and I don't know if I remember his area code anymore. Thank you, Alec. Alec, what was your area code? Just tell me real quick, and I'm going to put you in the system so that when you call, I'll be able to add you a little easier. Let me add this call. This is Matt from 801. Hold on one second. Matt from 801, what can I do for you? 860, thank you. What's up, Matt?
You
live.
mean me, Gump? Matthew.
Is this Gump?
Yeah, it's me, brother.
Gump, what's up, buddy? Gumpy.
How we doing?
I'm good, Gump. What can I do for you? You're the 801 caller. Okay, I gotta plug you in too, Gump. What's up, Gump? What can I do for you, bro?
I just listened to your show. I had to call in because I like Lad McConkey this year.
Well, that's not the topic tonight, but that's okay, Gumpy.
Okay, and then I like that kid from Buffalo, Shakir, baby. You know what I mean?
Thank you, Alec.
Shakir,
baby? You like Shakir, baby?
Yeah. Yes,
I mean, he's not bad. He's not bad, but that's like calling into like a Food Network show, and saying, "Yeah, you like that taco from Taco Bell?" Instead of being like, "Hey, let's talk about prime rib." Shakir.
Okay, prime rib.
Yeah.
What prime rib?
Why don't you ask about the man of the hour, Gump? Why don't you talk about Bucky Irving?
I love Bucky. You know I'm going to try to get him.
Okay.
You know that.
I mean, look at these stats, Gump. Look at these stats on screen. Travis, did you find the force missed tackles yet, or you don't? No pressure. I'm just curious.
I love Bucky.
I don't know. I can't really find them. I gotta keep trying.
Yeah, I had them, and then I had to go live. A lot of things happened, so there was a couple of stats I didn't have up. And I'm just going live.
Smitty.
Yeah, hold on one second. Gump, 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. Okay, Gump, go ahead. Sorry, Gump. What can I do for you, Gump?
I don't know if it's on topic or not because I was cleaning the truck. I only got so much living space in the truck. Everything's going to be perfectly ordered. But I was thinking, I was cleaning. I was thinking maybe Smitty could really help me with this one because I've struggled year after year. And it's the defense. I wish you'd do a show on the different defenses that are climbing or falling.
We do.
I don't know if they do. I really need that. I really.
Well, I get it, but Gump, we got to wait till the free agency's over. If I did a defensive show before free agency's over, I'm going to need to redo it. And then if I redo it then, I got to wait until the draft's over. Like, we got to wait until these teams fill all these vacancies, man. Or there's just it's wasted. It's a wasted show. It gets outdated with the snap of a finger. So we will have some... What?
Do you pick up two defenses? You only run with one.
It depends. If you're streaming, it depends how big your rosters are. If you've got no room for that, I don't. I just draft a good defense and leave it all year. But if you're playing in a league where you've got tons of time, like I can't stream defenses. I don't have time for that. I barely have time to set my lineups in my leagues. I have to dial back so many leagues. At least once or twice a year, two teams on all my gauntlet of teams go without a bench. Or what happens is I'll go into the Thursday night game and I'll be like, I have like 10 leagues, obviously do all the best ball too, but I have 10 leagues and I'm like, Oh my God, the Thursday game's going to start. I got to go live. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't think I have anybody that's going to get affected by this game. The game kicks off when the live stream's over. I have a minute. I pull it up and I realize someone's locked in there. And I'm like, oh, I just can't do it anymore. I gotta have Gump control my lineups, I think.
Well,
But we'll talk
I'm
defense
playing
later,
Gump. My nephew Brendan, he always streams defenses, and then he sets up computer programs for like these like best ball and stuff. Designs the program and
Okay.
stuff. So he knows everything, and I mean, he's always picking and dropping. I gotta try to beat him. He's hard to beat.
Well, we'll take care of it, Gumpy. Just stay close, okay? All right, hang tight, Gumpy.
Well,
I'll come back. I'll come back to you in a second. Think of a question. We've got
a question for you.
Yeah, Boston, Kyrie Boston. Then I'll go over to Ron Navy. Go ahead, Kyrie Boston.
Are you familiar with Vampire Leagues?
Yeah, I mean, I don't play in a lot of them, to be honest. I don't have time. You got to remember.
Okay.
You got to remember. My time is so limited. I can barely set my lineup. So how can I play in a league where guys, you gotta be on top of that and steal players away, or survivor leagues where you redraft? Like, I don't have time. Barely have time to set my lineup.
Well, I got into a Vampire League by accident this year, and I didn't know what it was until I joined it.
Mm-hmm.
But the guy ended up drafting two teams. You're not supposed to be able to draft a team and then have your vampire team, huh?
I don't know. Not sure,
I think he was cheating, but
probably.
Yeah,
sounds
I
fishy.
still won the chip. I still won the chip with Bucky Irving on my team. I drafted real good.
Of course you did.
I drafted
Of course you did.
Bucky Irving, Chase
You
Brown.
got buckied.
Get buckied.
Jaden Daniels. I had a squad, so
Buckied.
they couldn't beat none of my players.
Buckied.
I even got Brian Thomas. And I was like, damn.
All right,
Looking at
Boston
this
Kyrie.
squad, I had a boat.
Hang tight.
Yeah.
Rock out. You're live.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Ron Navy. You're live.
Hey, how could I not call in? We're talking prime rib. I'm all about talking about some prime rib.
True. How did I forget? How did we not get the prime rib expert? Yeah, Bucky's
Hey,
prime rib. That's for sure. You missed the Pickens live stream though earlier.
I missed the what?
The whole 8 p.m. show was Pickens live stream.
Really? Were you looking for me?
Well, no, I just thought you would call in because it was all about Pickens.
No, I already know what it was about. It wasn't about anything I wanted to hear about Pickens.
Yeah. We'll see what happens though, because
reality of things.
yeah, the reality's setting in. I don't know.
No, it's not.
I think we're waiting for the Aaron Rodgers news to drop, and then Pickens is going to fire off. That's my prediction. By the way, your boy Kirk Cousins is in the news kind of right now. Last hour or so, there's been some rumor mill pages and Twitter accounts that don't really have any sources whatsoever, but they still do this stuff. But they said the Falcons have been getting calls on Kirk Cousins. We know that. I mean, that's not new news, but they're trying to drum it up as if it's new. And we all know that, that contract becoming, executing that the amount of guaranteed money he gets puts him on the map to be traded. So we'll see what happens there. But your boy Kirk Cousins will become a conversation piece if Aaron Rodgers decides to retire or go to the Giants or go to the Vikings, which I don't think he'll do. But if he doesn't go to the Pittsburgh Steelers or retires, then Kirk Cousins to the Steelers is probably the next logical move. We'll see, though. We will see.
Well,
He'd be good there. He'd be good there.
To the local. I was listening to the local Pittsburgh, one of the local Pittsburgh things, and they said there was an update that Pittsburgh's pressing the gas hard, and they've been in actual conversations with Aaron Rodgers recently, like today or yesterday. So they were painting it as a positive thing, but I really don't care because Rodgers always plays these games anyways. But who knows?
Mm-hmm. I think if, I still don't see Pickens. What I think Pickens is doing, and I explained this on the 8 p.m. show, is he's been told by the brass, hey, don't make a stink. We're gonna try and trade you. Just don't devalue our position by causing this stir and making us look desperate. But I have a feeling he's also probably trying to, because he'll probably be traded near draft time. But I think he's also trying to feel out whether he wants to make a stink about staying, like give me my extension. I like the idea of A-Rod, or if he's gonna, the last thing in the world he's gonna want to do is play with Russell Wilson again, because I just didn't work out. It's not a good year. And then second of all, watch him and DK rekindle the relationship. There's no way Russell Wilson's not throwing more to DK, if it's Russell. So I think he's really waiting for the dominoes to drop, and once they do, he's going to have his direction of where he wants to make a stink. But I do think that this is going to start brewing very, very soon. And that Instagram post he put up Tom Brady up on his stories, obviously you could take it 100 different ways. That's what kicked off the live stream, is he was posting on IG, and he's giving people flowers left and right that are signing deals. So he's got the bag binoculars out, and he's doing bag call outs like, good job, way to get the bag. Just congratulating. That's all he's doing, is congratulating people on getting their payday. So payday's on his mind. It's like he's oblivious, like just sitting there. He's congratulating people getting their bag. And then he posts this picture of him and Tom Brady together, which fueled all the Las Vegas rumors. And then some said, well, maybe it's subliminal and it's the Patriots, so who the hell knows? But he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. In the middle of all these contract signing posts on his stories, he puts this up. He knows what he's doing. I cannot live in a world where he does not request a trade. That wouldn't make sense to me.
Well,
thank you, Lewis.
Here's what I think. I don't think Russell Wilson's coming back no matter what. I don't think they're going to have him back no matter what. I think even if they don't get Brady, they'll move on with Mason Rudolph, starting for them as a bridge quarterback. They'll draft a quarterback, and they'll call it a day. If they don't get Tom Brady,
be Dart.
Russell Wilson, they ain't going to have coming back.
It better. I think Russell's their secondary plan. I think Russell's their secondary plan unless they can get Cousins. I think that could become their primary plan without A-Rod. So A-Rod's their primary plan. Cousins and Russell could be their, they're going any direction there. If they go with Rudolph, your dreams might come true and Tomlin gets fired, because you guys won't stand a chance with Mason Rudolph. Like it's not even a playoff team.
I get the feeling
Rudolph did really good last year. I saw improvement in him. He wasn't floating the ball like he used to.
Ron, this is the Pickett argument.
He actually won the last 3 games. He won the last 3 games going into the playoffs.
Come on, Ron.
And, of course,
it's not just Ron.
He's enough to get you some wins. So, anyways.
No,
he's not the future. I'm not saying he's the future. I
know, but you get fired.
I know he's not the future, but that's what. Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, that's good for you. I'm saying it's good for you.
But he knows the system.
It's good for you. Starting my 2 keeper leagues.
It is good for me.
Thank you, Jay. Appreciate you again.
But the other thing is Pittsburgh's not going to consider trading.
Thank you, Lewis.
Pickens unless they get
Lewis
a 3rd round back, and no team's gonna probably. I don't see many teams giving up a 3rd round pick for Pickens.
A 3rd rounder? I think I can see you saying. I think you saying 2nd round. There could be just 1 or 2 teams like the Patriots that would overpay. But 3rd rounder, I think you get like 5 or 6 more teams in the mix for that. I think he's going for a 2nd.
I don't
Joe Milton in the 3rd rounder. You get Joe Milton in the 3rd rounder, right?
Yeah, Milton to the. I know Ron doesn't want him, but Ron, I want Milton starting versus backing up. So like I understand what you're going to say. You don't want, they can't develop quarterbacks, but you give Milton a shot. I like that better than him not getting a shot. So
they're going to end up, Smitty, the way you say it, okay, let's say they trade for Milton, bring Milton in. They're still going to start off Rudolph and they're going to do to Milton what they did to Fields. And then you're going to be pissed off again because the Steelers are not giving him the chance that he deserves, and you're just going to be beside yourself saying, what the...
You might be right. Damn Tomlin. Can we get
you're
rid
not
of
gonna
Tomlin
like
now?
it.
Can we get rid of Tomlin now? What are we doing? What are we doing?
Right?
What are we doing? But, I mean, if
But
they
then
traded...
everybody always says, well, who are you going to get to replace Tomlin? I mean,
Anybody.
I'm tired
The janitor.
of that argument.
The janitor. Mason Rudolph. He's not a player. Put him in the head coaching position. There you go. Done deal. Is Sullivan still there? I don't think anybody ever leaves, or they don't bring anybody in there or leave. I mean, very, very rarely.
No.
He's not there?
They don't. I mean, Tomlin doesn't want to... Tomlin doesn't want to bring anybody of quality in because he's a narcissist and he's afraid they'll outshine him.
Smith can take over.
Arthur says over under on him having the same stats as last year. Well, I mean, clearly I don't even know what you're talking about, Arthur, when I'm projecting him to have 1,300 yards, 12 touchdowns, 5 yards per carry, 65 receptions, 450 receiving yards, and 2 or 3 touchdowns with a sum total of 14 to 15 scores. To get back to last year's numbers, I mean, 90% chance he replicates at least last year's numbers. The only reason I'd have a small percentage in there is like injury, coaching misuse, all that stuff. But I mean, to account for what you're saying with where's the question at? I think you had another one. It was Godwin. Even with Godwin back, the thing you got to think about with Godwin back is like Evans could get hurt, bro. He's older. He could slow down. It's all going to be kind of a one door opens, another door closes type of thing. But Bucky started to get used, bro, at the end of the year. And when you look at Bucky's stats, they speak for themselves when you see that his carries, especially that playoff game, 17 carries in the playoff game, they knew how to use him when the season got moving. Now, the only thing that concerns me is Liam Cohen leaving, and like, what if that's why there's only a 90% chance, but it's just really high. But I'm a little concerned, just a little bit on the change, just like you got to be concerned a little bit about the Lions players, just a little bit. You got to be a little concerned about the Eagles players. Whenever you lose the engine of your offense, you just hope that they fill it nicely. In Detroit, they have internally someone step up and try and replicate and continue on. We'll just see what happens in Tampa. But if man, it's possible. People are stupid, man. Some of these coaches that come in and
you think
like
Bucky?
What Arthur Smith did with Bijan, like you just never know what somebody might do. But that's why there's you're accounting for it. But yeah, Bucky to me, most elusive running back in the league. The most elusive running back in the NFL.
You think he'll score 13 to 15 touchdowns this year?
Yeah, absolutely. He had 8 last year, and he didn't get double-digit carries till well past midseason, as I just showed. So he's literally literally the most elusive running back in the league, and that's saying something. There's the Gibbs. We got a lot of players. Well, I mean, the stats back it up. I don't even think it's bold. That's the funny thing. It just feels like JD5. Everyone's like, "You're so bold on JD5." I'm like, the data's all there.
Use him more in the passing game. I think
9 to 11, I would say maybe, but that
Well, I feel like it's writing's on the wall. It feels like the JD5 prediction. I feel like it doesn't even feel bold to me. You watch his,
have more than 1,300 yards.
Watch his play, bro. Just go back and rewatch. I know you watched it during the year, but go back and rewatch it. He's literally the most elusive running back by far and away. This is over Gibbs. I literally believe he's the most elusive running back in the league. Gibbs is the quickest. Like, Gibbs almost doesn't get touched. He finds the creases and goes. Bucky is slipping tackles, sliding 4 and 5 guys off him at one time. This is elusive. Elusive is different than speed and quickness. He is the best tackle breaking running back in the league. It's going to be glorious to watch. And the yards after contact, like as I was having Travis pull this up, yards after contact per attempt, there's some discrepancy on whether he's 2, 3, 4, or 5. But to do that, Ron, with only 40, he's ranking 44th in the NFL in snap percentage because he didn't start the season off as a starter. It wasn't until midseason, and he still was top 5 in yards after he was still top 5 in forced missed tackles. He was still top 5. And and what I'm saying is, you're including those bad games where he wasn't able to showcase that as much, So it's crazy to be third and 30+ yard runs, and you're used sparingly in the beginning of the entire first half of the season is wild. Just go watch more footage of him. I know you saw it. I'm just saying, go rewatch it.
I don't disagree with you.
I think you'll.
I know what you're saying is factual.
Yeah.
But the only thing I said is I don't think he hit, 15 touchdowns.
Maybe.
I don't see it.
Well, I
said
said.
agree with everything you just said. Other than that.
Yeah. I think my number was what I said.
I don't disagree with you.
I said 14 to 15. I think is what I said.
Yeah. That seemed kind of high.
13. You said 13 to 15.
13 to 15.
13 to 15.
13 to 15.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had 8 last year.
That just seems a little high to me.
He had 8. I know, but
if he catches some.
Yeah. He caught a touchdown in the playoffs.
At the same time. Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's impossible.
Mike Evans had 11 touchdowns. If he has a few less, if they run it more, if Evans gets hurt, if Godwin doesn't come back.
Yeah, well,
what's
what's their schedule look like? What defenses are they going up against, too? How brutal is their schedule going to be this year? That has a lot to do with it, too.
Isn't this stats like starting midseason? These aren't stats starting midseason. These are his stats on the year, Arthur. So, if we account for everything just from when he started to get double-digit carries, his stats would be through the roof. I'll create a separate page for that, and we'll show that. I don't think it's the smartest way to tell a story, to use a sample that could be kind of deceiving. But I think in the case of Bucky, where you literally see the San Francisco game in early November, is where that switch got flipped. And even if you go back to this week, 6 or whatever it was, when he had 14 carries, he had double-digit carries, and you go back to this game in week 4 where he had 10, but he consistently didn't have anything until this 13-carry game up here midway through. But you look at both of these double-digit carries that he had, they're both touchdown games. So, and even this 9-carry game, touchdown. So touchdown. Yeah. He's so efficient. Yeah, but I'm telling you, this may sound bold.
Where's his ADP?
3.1. This may sound bold, but it's not. It's really, he is the most elusive running back in the NFL. Over Gibbs, over everybody. Gibbs is the quickest. Gibbs has other things that you could say he's the number one. But Bucky's the most elusive. This is, when you watch him, it's Christian McCaffrey, prime Christian McCaffrey. Go watch any Bucky film highlights. I'm not talking to Ron anymore. I'm talking to anybody that's doubting this. Go watch Bucky Irving highlights from last year. It is prime Christian McCaffrey. That's what he looks like. That's how he plays.
Yo, I think he's underrated as a pass catcher.
Oh, of course he is. He had 45 receptions, was it? That's unbelievable for not being a starter for half.
I think he could do another 15 on that.
Oh, I said 60. Well, I said 60. Oh, I said 65.
Oh, man, yeah. That's easy. 65.
Isn't it funny how just 2 years ago, White was probably the best pass catching back coming into the NFL and this and that, and we're hyping up White. And then here comes Bucky Irving out of nowhere, and it's like White's chopped liver compared to him.
Yeah, and Bucky is the prime example, and will always be, when someone says something like, you don't like Hampton more than Genty. You're gonna be wrong on that. It's not anything that you can predict. Genty's the better prospect over Hampton. It's not even close. But that doesn't mean that Hampton, when he gets into the NFL, can't mature quickly. It's kind of like CeeDee Lamb grew in a half an inch in the offseason after his first year. He grew in a half an inch in height. These guys are still maturing. And so Bucky comes into the league as a good prospect, but not an elite prospect on any level. And he just blossomed immediately. There's just some players that do that. Tom Brady looked like a bum coming into the NFL. His combine, no one paid any attention to him, and he just blossomed. Sometimes it happens. So Bucky is probably the perfect example ever for an RB. Not ever, but Foster is one of them. Arian Foster is one of them. But one of the best examples in recent memory of a player coming in that nobody knew was going to be the guy because he wasn't the guy. He wasn't that guy yet. He just wasn't. He became it very quickly. It happens. You know, things click. Yep. You get the right coach. You eat the right food. You watch enough film. You pick it up. Your intelligence is fine tuned at that moment. I mean, everybody can probably remember a time in their life where something clicked mentally. You know, you just became a different person, or you started getting good at something. Like, it just happened, man. You know, BTJ is another somewhat of an example of he was, and JJ too, Justin Jefferson. JJ was probably, everyone liked him, but he was not the consensus wide receiver 1 in his draft class. Not even close. He was often going in like the 4, 5, 6 territory in a rookie draft, and JJ became who he became. Like, it happens. BTJ was wide receiver 3, 4 for a lot of people. And he was the number 4 overall receiver last year in all of fantasy veterans and rookies combined. It was insane what he did. So Bucky's he's a special case, man. And to Ron's point, you know, guys look good. Like Rachaad White was a great prospect. And he played pretty good, and he's still a good cuff, and he's still a good player. But Sean Tucker I like a little more than Rachaad White. Rachaad White, to me, is going to he's not going to be in the way of Bucky, but he'll just kind of be good enough to where you maybe start him in a bind or something like that, whereas Sean Tucker is more of the kind of cuff to Bucky in a way, because if Bucky were to go down, Sean Tucker would get, you know, massive volume. So it's kind of a weird
situation. That's a good
one. About that, dude.
Mon-Ra, St. Brown.
Yeah. Mon-Ra was the same way. Mon-Ra was great. Yeah, Trevion Henderson. Trey. He likes to go by Trey Henderson, so we're calling him Trey Henderson now. He doesn't want to be called Trevion. So we're gonna respect that man's damn wishes. Trey. It's Trey, baby. Not you, Travis. I'm just saying.
Trey Day.
Trey Day. That's good. That's real good. Go ahead, Kyrie Boston. What can I help you with, young man?
Do you think the Panthers are kicking themselves right now?
For what? For what? You got to be more specific. What?
They took Brooks, an injured running back, though. First.
Well,
was the first running back.
No. Are they kicking themselves? Probably, yeah. But did they make a mistake? No. Everybody, you know, I didn't like them as much as everybody else in fantasy, but I could understand as an organization believing in him. You couldn't have really seen that unfolding the exact way it did, but. I mean, in fantasy, if you look back on any video where someone tells me they've got, I don't think you could find one time, maybe once, out of the hundreds of times someone gave me their team and they said Jonathan Brooks, almost every single time I said, trade Jonathan Brooks with this player and upgrade to one extra player, one bigger, better, stronger player. Why? Everyone's like, well, you don't like Jonathan Brooks? It's not that I didn't like him, but the odds were against him. Too many red flags, man. You know, Chuba was doing great. He's coming back from injury. He retore his ACL. You couldn't have really seen that coming. But then again, he's compensating, rushing back compensation injuries. They happen all the time. You know, it's very common for someone to tear the other ACL or re-tear their ACL. More common to tear the other ACL. Or you tear your Achilles tendon. Very highly likely you'll tear the other Achilles tendon, because guess what? Your Achilles tendons wear a lot of time at the same rate. And Achilles tendons are not like ACLs, where a random occurrence is really the reason it tears. It mostly tears because they're wearing down, and the little threads inside, like a rope, are ripping off one thread at a time. And if one Achilles tendon is worn down, because most people wear at the same rate, you know, both your knees kind of ache at the same time. You got arthritis in one, you probably have arthritis in the other. Achilles tendons, you usually tear the other one. You know, so that's what, look at look at Cam Akers. You know, I called that one. I said he'd tear Achilles, the other Achilles. So,
do you think he'll be back next season though?
Jonathan Brooks?
You count him out next season? Or you
I
think,
mean, be
Chuba
back to
Hubbard-
what? Be back to what?
missed most of the
Back
year.
up Chuba Hubbard? Because Chuba Hubbard just got his extension.
And Dowdle.
And Dowdle, yeah. I mean,
And Dowdle.
he's done, bro.
He's going to miss most of the year anyway.
Jonathan who?
Second in Yale.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's not even worth drafting this year.
No, he could hold Chuba's water bottle, maybe. I mean, Chuba looked good, man. Hubbard is a baller, man. Hubbard's a real deal.
Chuba did me right this season, man. I can't lie. I was glad I picked Chuba Hubbard up off the waiver wires, man.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of my best
Yeah.
pickups.
If I had to call out 3 Cook players that we talked about today, Christian Watson, he's cooked. Tank Dell, unfortunately, he's cooked. And Jonathan Brooks. And I'm not saying there's not a shot, but they're all done. In my mind, I'm not touching them. They're dead to me, unfortunately.
At least for next season.
No,
Maybe
they're
in
cooked. They're done. I don't go
2027.
near them in Dynasty. I don't go near them in 2026. They're done. They could prove me wrong. I'm open-minded to like watching it unfold, but they're done. No, not just 1 year. They're done. I mean, Tank Dell can't come back to form. He was already struggling for a lot of reasons. Some of them weren't even his fault. But now he's got an injury that his knee was so mangled. They've been putting it back together in pieces. Like he literally had multiple surgeries to get his leg put back together, and he just had his ACL surgery like weeks ago. Because they finally said, okay, we put the leg back together, now let's do the ACL surgery separately. That's how bad his knee was, bro. He had to have it reconstructed to the point where he could even have ACL surgery last week or the week prior. So Tank Dell's toast.
Damn.
Yeah, it's bad. I mean, Watson couldn't stay healthy anyway, and I love him. You know, look at it as kind of like trying to think of an injury-plagued person that just couldn't keep it together.
Man.
Yeah, it sounds like this is your entire dynasty team, the way that Kyrie Boston's acting.
I wanted to ask about Nick Chubb. He's done too, huh?
Yeah, how's he gonna? Look, he didn't even, he didn't even bounce back last year. Fully, give him credit for hitting the field and punching in touchdowns, but he wasn't efficient. And his knee injuries, Nick Chubb's had the 2 biggest knee injuries in the history of mankind. He had them both. There was no more gruesome injury than his college injury until his pro injury topped it. It was crazy.
Damn.
All right, Kyrie Boston. Anything else? And then I gotta let you go.
No, I didn't think Nick Chubb was gonna do anything this year. He surprised me,
Yeah,
just by him getting on
he
the
fell
field.
into the end zone. They did him right by reconstructing his deal and keeping him versus cutting him, but he doesn't have a job right now. You asked about J.K. Dobbins earlier. Until J.K. Dobbins and Nick Chubb have a job, I mean, we can't even project what they're going to do.
All right, thank you, Smith. You
All right, later,
answered
bro.
a lot for me.
All right, appreciate you. Let's see here. Gump's still on the line. Gump, are you sleeping in the truck right now or what? Hey, Gump drives a trailer. What did you haul tonight, Gump? What's in the back of the truck tonight?
Listen, Smitty, listen to me. Do they do defenses in best ball or no? They don't.
No.
Do they?
No, this guy, he gets hooked on something and he just can't talk about anything else. If it's either Hendon Hooker and the Lions forever and ever, and then now it's defenses,
Well, the reason why I'm mentioning this stuff is that I think it was 84 or whatever. Richard Dent got picked in the 7th round. There's so many defensive ends. There's so much deep trench stuff going on. Someone's going to hit the jackpot, and that's going to make a difference on your running back. I mean, they got a couple of, Brooks? Is that offensive tackle? What happens if he gets in front of Bucky? You know what I mean?
Gump reminds me of the guy that like comes in like you guys know who what is his name? This is a compliment, by the way, Gump, in a way. What's that guy's name? Damn it. He's the comedian. He's really smart. Dennis Miller. And Dennis Miller will come in with such old like analogies and player examples and things like that it doesn't go over people's head necessarily because they're stupid, but because they're not in that world anymore or something. Like he'll come in probably with like a MASH, the TV show MASH. He'll come in with like a MASH reference. Everyone be like, "What the hell's that?" Gump.
Well, what I'm saying is, I'm so torn, but from all these players and all these defensive trench players, and they're saying this, they're saying that.
Gump, relax, Gump. We can't. There's nothing we can do about defensive rankings. There's nothing we can do about defensive rankings and defenses until both free agency and the NFL draft are over. The Niners just released half of their defensive roster. They're all out there for the taking. You know, like everyone ripping on the Bengals. Go pick up 2 of those guys. And then the Bengals are set. Like, this is ridiculous Bengal hate. I mean, there's players out there. There's good players out there to go grab.
Well, what I'm saying is that just like people have 2 good running backs, in this draft, team might get reborn with 2 defensive ends.
Okay.
Or go to the Super like the Lions.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. How do you like your new offensive coordinator?
I love him.
Why?
Well, because I don't think he's going to do a stupid play like Jameson Williams throwing the ball in the freaking playoff game, and then we lose it. And that cooked their cook. We are cooked then. Fried, sizzled, and burnt once that ball went in the air.
Okay, but let me get back to my question. You've got Ben Johnson.
Wait a minute. Who called that play? Who called that play, Smitty?
I don't know.
Who in the world did Ben Weasel call that play?
Ben Weasel, why do Lions fans hate Ben Johnson? You guys cook him as if he didn't do amazing things for you. I don't know if that's kind of like the Eagles and the Niners, kind of just no matter what, if you leave the team, you hate him. Like, Ben Johnson was pretty damn good for you. You know, and I think it's probably your head coach, not Ben Johnson. Probably not Ben Johnson. I bet you Ben Johnson was told to cook up something like, "Hey, give me the weirdest play you got," and Campbell's like, "Let's ruin this game. Let's try to screw this up." And Ben's like, "Oh boy."
Campbell called that play. You're trying to say Campbell called.
I don't know. Well, who's the guy that goes for it on 4th down no matter what? I mean, who's the guy that comes up with the crazy stuff? It'd be your head coach Campbell, would it not? I mean, why are you blaming Ben Johnson? He's an artist.
Ben Johnson, the one that draws him up.
Well, Gump, but it doesn't mean that he's going to want to use all these plays that he's required to draw up because Campbell wants to run some sort of Statue of Liberty, end around, fake reverse, whatever. But anyway,
yeah,
I know you.
Remember, he should have taken the field goal. They would have won the playoff game, but he didn't.
It's Campbell. Campbell's the problem. You should have fired. You should have fired Campbell and lifted Ben Johnson to your head coach position.
No.
Yeah.
That's what the Bears would say. That's what Bears.
No. Look, Campbell is a cheerleader. Campbell is a culture setter. The culture's already set. Ben Johnson's the mind. Campbell's not the guy that's winning games, bro. Campbell's the guy that's losing the games when it counts. I'm not saying he didn't set a great culture. He's amazing, but if you got to pick, this is like the Niners picking John Lynch over Adam Peters. No, John Lynch is a staple. You should have put Adam Peters in the GM role if you're the Niners. It is what it is. You chose your pick. You chose John motherfreaking Lynch.
Staple what?
The culture. That's the way the Niner fans think about it. You know, they're like, just like, we'll see. They didn't want to bring in Vrabel, and everyone will say Vrabel didn't want to go to San Francisco a year ago, but they didn't want to bring in Vrabel because the fan base would probably eventually want to replace John. Kyle thought, I bet you Vrabel's going to take my job. Like, Kyle wants an inferior coaching staff.
Like Tomlin.
Which he does a good job with his coaching tree. I'll admit that, but he doesn't ever want to bring in a polarizing figure or a polarizing quarterback. Why do you think he loves Purdy so much? Because Purdy hasn't been tainted by other coaching staffs or schemes. He's literally programming him from, ground zero. That's why he liked Jimmy G. That's why he doesn't want Tom Brady. He didn't want Tom Brady. The Niners would have won multiple Super Bowls if they would have brought Tom Brady in when Tom Brady was begging to become a Niner before he went to the Bucs and won a Super Bowl. That's on Kyle Shanahan should be fired alone just for that memory. Just whenever you think of it and you're like, Brady's begging to come. Shanahan said the famous comments that Tom Brady repeated. Remember, Tom Brady said he was told that he was only marginally better than the other guy, which was Jimmy Garoppolo. And Tom Brady never let it go. He's so mad about it. And I don't blame him. And he goes and wins the Super Bowl for Tampa Bay, and everybody just forgets it as if Kyle Shanahan didn't, make the biggest mistake of his life. Then what's he do? Goes and drafts Trey Lance, which I like Trey Lance. Trey Lance played good as a rookie. Should have continued to start after that regular season win that kind of shoved the Niners back into the playoff picture. And then he benched him after the win. Trey Lance won. He won that game. He started to go in the right direction. They benched him. They put Jimmy back in, and Trey Lance spiraled out of control, got hurt the next year. What?
Doesn't that remind you of Tomlin benching Fields?
Belichick was the same way, too.
Yeah, Tomlin benching Fields is ridiculous. The thing that frustrated me so badly about that, because I knew I'd be right, but it was going to take some time, so I just had to take my lumps after Russell Wilson won that first game, and everyone's like, told you, Smitty, you're so down on Russell Wilson. He's cooking. And I'm just like, oh, my God. Just wait. Just wait. This is going to be a painful year. Just wait. Every announcer, every talking head, every announcer is like, Tomlin can't bench Fields. He looks great. And Tomlin did it. And then everyone's giving him flowers after the first game. How'd you know? How'd you know? Yeah, that's why I get paid the big bucks.
Smitty.
Unbelievable.
Hello?
Hello, Gump.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I mentioned all this about this, I was watching Mel Kelper's, mock draft and all that stuff. And then they say, well, Pearson's got a problem, some type of attitude problem. He's going to
wait, who'd you say you're watching? Whose draft? Mel what?
Mel Kiper.
That's the problem. He's lost in Mel Kiper.
I thought he said Mel. I thought he said Mel Kelper.
He's stupid. But listen, didn't they also say that Mike Green, something happened with Mike Green? Now he's falling. You can't draft Mike Green because he might go to jail. What's he going to jail for?
I don't know,
want Mike Green.
I'm not sure, Gump.
But what I'm saying is, this year's defensive ends is some defense is going to climb. They're going to climb like they're freaking Godzilla or King Kong to top the Empire State Building. Who's climbing?
I've kind of learned to accept what Gump calls about. He's not changing his mind. He called about defensive ends and defenses, and he's not stopping. He just won't stop. There's nothing that's going to take him off course.
That's the only thing to save the Lions. It's the only thing.
He calls in about Hendon Hooker. It's nothing to Hendon. It doesn't matter. You could be like, Gump, you just won the lottery. He's like, defensive ends. We're going defensive ends. That's the ticket. Gump, I don't know. Can we just wait on the defensive stuff? I mean, so much has got to happen.
Yeah, well, as soon as you do a show on the defense is up, when you do that show, I'm going to have my eyes so glued to the freaking screen. Okay. It ain't funny.
We'll definitely be doing it live, Gumpy. All right, Gumpy, I do got to
call Detroit and give them the insider. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, let's do it live. Gump, we'll see you later.
I got a question. Has Denny and Gump ever been on at the same time?
I think so. Right, Gump?
No. But listen to me. I'm telling you, just the Cardinals. I'm telling you, what happens if they get two defensive ends? What happens if they do? And then they sign Hendon Hooker.
They're not signed. They can't sign Hendon Hooker. He's under contract, Gump.
Well, I'll trade for him. I'm talking about.
All right. I'm gonna get off the phone line here.
I want to hear Gump and Denny talk about something. That's what I want to hear.
Well, what I was thinking, Smitty, is that if you could find like one of those money leagues, and then I'll pay for the price of the money league, and then we can draft, or you draft it, or I'd like to draft it too, and then the proceeds will go to your show to help your show if we win.
Okay, we'll think about that, Gump. Good thinking. Let me play this.
Let me play this.
Hold on. Let me play this voicemail for those of you that missed it earlier. This is a voicemail Denny left me last night. He calls me in the middle of the night and he leaves voicemails. But here's Denny from last night.
No, you're right, Smitty. Birdie sucks. You're right. I saw it the other day. I watched the old shows. Yeah, Purdy sucks. So I'm on your side on that one. All right. I'll talk to you later. Oh, I'm on that. Purdy sucks.
Oh, you gotta love him.
I'm lightning fast. I'm lightning fast, Smitty. I'm lightning fast. I used to run 100 miles a week. I used to run. All right.
Okay.
We're running over here. Come on, let's catch up. Let's go do this. Let's win it.
I don't know what you're
Let's
talking
get a
about,
big
Gump.
money league.
Gump, I have no idea
Well,
what we're running about. What are you talking about?
Well, let's get a money league or some type of money league. I'll put the money in. Proceeds goes to Smitty.
I don't have time.
Kroger, and Ziggy.
I don't have time for that right now.
I mean, I'll set the lineup with the defense that we figure out.
I don't know. We'll see. Gump, I try and control the amount of leagues I do because I just don't have time. But it's kind of ironic. It's kind of ironic, Gump, that you ran 150 miles a week and your name's Gump.
100 miles a week. I used to run 100.
100 miles a week. Run, Gumpy.
I did. I ran.
I was running.
I ran everybody.
I was running.
I was running. I was a running fool.
I didn't stop there. I just kept going.
Mama always said life is like a box of hen and hookers.
I ran so much, I'll tell you what. It was just like sleeping or resting.
Mama always said.
I know that one. All right.
Well, you guys want to really be honest? You know how I got the name Gump?
Purdy.
You want? This is gonna shock you, Smitty. You want to hear it?
Sure, Gump. Last thing, and then I got to hang up on you. Go ahead, Gump.
Chaplin was?
What?
President Reagan's cousin, and Reagan always called him on the phone. And then I told Robert, I said, "Hey, Robert," I said, "Did you know Forrest Gump?" He says, "I sure did. I met him in Vietnam, and you're just like him. If you don't stop it, you'll die of a nervous disorder."
Huh.
That's how it happened. President Reagan's cousin called me Gump.
Oh, how you got the name Gump? I got you.
That happened a long time ago.
I gotta go, Gump. I gotta go, Gump. Appreciate you, bro.
Hey, don't forget we gotta get Cowboys hats, and I was.
He's gonna be still talking for about 4 or 5 minutes. Rock out. Final thoughts.
Yeah, far as the Bengals go, we want them to do on defense. As far as you think they're gonna sign Trey, or are they gonna get a good defensive end?
I think they get Hendrickson inked up. I do. I think that if they don't, they get a pick that allows them to get crafty and replace him. And I know it's hard to replace him, but you know, it is what it is. Like, what is he, 30? You know, there could be some.
Yeah. Yep.
This could be some pros to that move. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's a. I think it's a lazy take to suggest that the Bengals have to do it all now. Like, getting the offensive core, think of it like stages, right? If you came to me and said, "Hey, go build me the Eagles," you know what my answer would be? It's going to take multiple years because you can't do it all in one offseason. So let's hit the offense in 1 year, and then we'll try and attack defense the best we can because we got an upcoming draft. So we're going to hit offense in 1 year. We'll hit a quarter to half of the defensive build in year 1, too, with the draft and the free agency. And then the second year, that draft, so before the second year even begins, we hit the defense again, double dip, build the defense up to the draft again. And then you walk into your second year with the offense that money can buy, the best offense money can buy, and the best defense 2 drafts can buy. Like, it's such a dumb and lazy take to suggest that the Bengals made a bad move. You're lazy with your take, and you don't know what you're talking about if you say that, and you're regurgitating what you heard from another show, because it takes multiple years to do what the Eagles are doing, and you can't expect it in 1 year. If you do, you can't do it. You can't get A.J. Brown, Barkley, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts, the offensive line in the trenches, and the defense that they have in 1 year. Nope. And you have the offense already there. So you just lock it down. You do what you can year 1 in the draft. The contracts are all fresh and brand new. So you got 4 to 5 years to do this. And you've already been to the Super Bowl in 2022. It's not like you weren't capable of figuring it out with a mediocre defense. The passing defense was like, I don't know, 18 to 25. The rushing defense was top 10. The overall defense was probably 10 to 14 that year. You're telling me it's that hard to get a D in the middle of the pack because that's all you need? I mean, people are just lazy, bro, and they're Bengal haters, which I understand, but at least admit what you are. All right, rock out. I'll see you tomorrow, pal.
All right, see you.
Later, bro. I feel like I yelled at rock out. I feel like he thought I was yelling at him. Ron, final thoughts.
Yeah, I wonder how many people realize that 3 players in the NFL paid top money in their position is over $600 million being paid to these 3 players combined. And those 3 players, Joe Burrow, highest paid quarterback, Chase, highest paid wide receiver,
highest paid non-quarterback,
and Stingley, the highest paid in his position. They're the highest paid in their positions was what I meant. And then you got Jefferson, who's the second highest paid receiver. It's 4, all from LSU championship team, national championship team. LSU is becoming a monster. They're becoming the university of wide receivers, quarterbacks, and oh my God.
Yeah.
And you got JD. I mean, you got him coming out lately, so just wait till this is year 1. Just wait. What do we got going on with him in the future? Oh my
JD5
God.
is going to get better.
LSU is just putting out players left and right. And nobody even can compare with the players that are hitting the NFL from LSU.
Yeah, it's
like crazy. I don't know if people really think about that.
They're like Marvel, and Ohio State's like DC Comics.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's some good. There's some
Alabama ain't nothing without what's his name.
All right, Ron. Appreciate you, bro.
They just fell off. Yep. I'll talk to you later. Later, Travis.
Later on.
Yeah, Joe Burrow's the highest paid quarterback. You've got Jamar Chase, the highest paid wide receiver and non-quarterback. And then you have T. Higgins is the highest paid wide receiver too in the NFL. But that's amazing. People that say it's not amazing or, but do they have a defense? They just don't know. They don't know ball. You say that line, you don't know ball. You just don't. It's okay. It's not your fault. All right, Travis, what else you got? Anything else?
Yeah, actually, I was asking a question for Sick Nasty. He's at work right now. Would you trade Shaheed for a 2025 2.04 pick?
Yeah, I like Shaheed, but give me the chance of like landing that running back sleeper that I like a lot or something, like Dylan Sampson or if Cam Scatterbo lands somewhere great, he's not going to fall out of the top 10, but just you never know. You never know.
With the Browns, I know they could go with Abdul Carter since he double up with him and Myles Garrett. Gump would love that, obviously. But do you think they might try to do something where they bring in like a Kirk Cousins and draft a guy, something along those lines, or do you think they just take like a Fedora and go with it?
Which team?
Well, Browns, Cleveland.
I don't think the Browns would go for Cousins because the money's too high with Deshaun Watson on contract, in my opinion.
Yeah, good point.
But you never know. You never know, bro. You never know. It's certainly the Browns make bad decisions. But I think the Browns would be smart to get the smartest move the Browns could make. What?
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, the Steelers definitely in the Kirk Cousins game. I think it's once Aaron Rodgers, that domino falls, then Kirk Cousins becomes the hot commodity. So we'll have to kind of see.
Because they met with Milrow too, so if they could draft like Cousins and Milrow, that wouldn't actually be if Rodgers doesn't go there, that wouldn't be the worst combo to go with.
Yeah, I would say my favorite move for the Browns would be if Cam Ward's there, you take Cam Ward. Shadour's really smart too, but if let's say they don't go that route, then the best move is Joe Milton, just because of what I said last night. That if you land it, you get to build around it like no other. That cheap JD5's contract and JD5 being a young sophomore, you can build a team around that can easily win a Super Bowl in the next 1 to 2 years. If you get Joe Milton and he becomes the guy, then all of a sudden, you can build properly and you can have the fan base and the world outside of the fan base forget about Watson. You will not hear a word or a wink about Watson ever again because no one's going to care. You got your guy. And if you get your guy cheaply, right, you're making up for the overspend when you missed it. Just like Purdy. Purdy, you don't hear anybody make fun of the Niners anymore about Trey Lance. They don't mention it because they got a mulligan and they landed the mulligan. So that's the best way to wipe. If you go get Kirk Cousins, then you got more money and you can miss it again. You go get Joe Milton or one of the rookie quarterbacks. That's the only play for the Cleveland Browns. A rookie quarterback, one of the top two, or Joe Milton, because it's a clean slate smash.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, then you don't get blamed for it. It's a rookie. You probably would get blamed if it was a rookie top 2 pick, I guess. But that's why Joe Milton makes the most sense. You trade a 3rd rounder for Joe Milton and it doesn't work. No one cares. No one's going to say anything about it. Be like, it was a good shot. Right. But if it works out, yeah, you will erase all the memories, all of it. You got a free rookie or do-over. And it's a genius move, and nobody thinks about Watson ever again. And you get Travis Hunter,
And the last thing I'll say, with the Giants, I don't think it's the best move they can make, but it wouldn't surprise me even if they drafted someone, if they still brought in a Russell Wilson or something like that, just because I feel like they want a couple kicks at the can because they might be on the hot seat here, the GM and the coach. Yeah. I worry they're more worried about coaching for their job or managing maybe with Shine.
Maybe. Is that echo better on Travis? I did turn the volume up. It's not his fault.
Yeah, I listened to it back. I think it was gone. I think whatever you did.
Yeah, sometimes I turn it up and then some of your guys' volumes are different. Like Ron Navy calls him like he's on a megaphone. It's like so then I turn it down and then and I don't like to use earphones when I'm live. So if I control the volume enough, there's not a lot of reverb. But if I used headphones, and I may try and use my AirPods and see, but it's a lot easier to not do it. So I think I just got to remember to control the volume to it. I earball it instead of eyeball it.
Looking forward to see where Travion Henderson goes. Someone was talking about him.
Yeah, trade day.
Again.
Trade day.
I think he could be amazing in the right.
I love
spot.
Trey.
Yeah, trade day.
I love Trey Henderson, bro. He is so good. This guy's Breece Hall. Trey Henderson's Breece Hall. Probably one of the most exciting. What?
I saw someone say he's has a dynamic like a Reggie Bush. He has that type of missed tackle ability.
Yeah, Reggie Bush
was
meets
just in the NFL
Breece
at the
Hall.
wrong time. But Reggie
Hall meets Reggie Bush.
That would be ridiculous.
All right.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow.
Yep. Thanks, Smitty. Later.
Yep. Bucky.
Get buckied. 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 Oh, Bucky.
Yeah.
Take a Bucky bath. Thank you to my super chatters, J, Luis, Lewis, appreciate you.
So I'm on your side on that one. All right. Talk to you later. Oh, already sucks. So I'm on your side on that one. All right. I'll talk to you later. Oh, already sucks.
Wanted. The top most wanted outlaws. These outlaws are on the run, 'cause they're wanted, dead or alive.